Hello again. As you see, the lights are a little lower, and the topic of discussion will be Token Creek's rather long run of jazz concerts, something which was not part of the original design of the festival. It came up well along into the history of our many activities there, and it stayed year to year for 10 years before it became what we call the tail that wags the dog. Um, it was, I'd have to say, very well visited and I think appreciated. We did essentially composer features, uh, celebrated a lot of great anniversaries of great figures in songwriting and jazz. And we also had quite a production, high value. We took out the regular chairs, we brought in tables, we uh, had a sort of cabaret setting. This was quite labor intensive in the middle of other kinds of concerts. We enjoyed it a lot. We often did 2 shows a day. Some of us who were playing both the concert music and the jazz would rehearse jazz in the afternoon and play Beethoven in the evening. That was interesting, but maybe over the 10 years, it became a little harder. And we came back to it for a really very satisfying encore just a year ago. So I'll tell you a bit about the individual concerts, the format. We generally went composer by composer, sometimes topic by topic. We played with the same band for the entire span, except for our very first year. And you'll be able to see who all they are. Well, actually, I might as well tell you. Todd Stewart, drums, John Schaefer, bass, Tom Artin, trombone, Rosemary Harbison, violin, myself, piano, and 2 singers graced us with their presence. And I'll try to annotate them when they appear. And I will start back with the original concert. We chose in this little presentation to just choose one a year. Some of the tunes are somewhat extended, some are very brief. The first one is called Sweet Pretty Baby, and the composer is a guy we called on the program Gil Macho, but he's actually Guillaume de Machaut, an early French composer whose piece, Douce Dame Jolie, we began playing as graduate students, my friend Herb Gardner and I, while we were undergraduates in college. We were studying Machaut, and we played this tune one day in class. We say, hey, that swings, So we kept it in our repertoire back there, and we played it on our first jazz, and it starts this sequence of pieces, and it still swings. We went then to Harold Arlen, Stormy Weather. I thought that was probably the first moment where I felt that the band was connecting, clicking. So it's really great to have it in this collection. The next year, Hoagie Carmichael, We Give You Stardust. Wonderful, thrilling thing for me to visit the little table on which he reputedly composed that piece in Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana. And then Rodgers and Hart, one of our better years, I think. We were very engaged by those tunes. It never entered my mind. It's one of the few times where you're going to hear an actual arrangement. I did some actual written stuff there. Normally we're just doing it the old Billie Holiday session kind of thing. Everybody starts playing and we see what happens. But it never entered my mind. You'll hear when Annette Sanders comes in at the half, midway through the vocal, a recurrence of the original arrangement, a touch I kind of enjoy each time. The next year was a performer choice year, and you're going to hear The Very Thought of You, one of the best songs ever, pop songs ever written by an English guy, Ray Noble. The next year, Anne Ronell's Willow Weep for Me, wonderful piece. Jazz musicians love to play it. Just so beautifully written piece. Then my personal favorite pop song of all time. I always feel like it's the perfect pop song. Words, music. Johnny Mercer wrote the words, and Jimmy Van Heusen wrote the tune. I Thought About You. I often have assigned that piece, work on this piece with my students at MIT, my jazz students, and I have to explain to them about traveling on a train, how we used to do that. The next year, Mary Lou Williams was the feature, and we did a lot of her songs. Probably the most uncharacteristic of the songs of hers that we did was her bop song, her Land of Oobla-Dee, but it was really fun to play. And of course, she was so many things to jazz, but among other things, she really was thinking ahead into the whole language of bop. After that comes Moments Like This. We do a really fancy version of that in a whole bunch of different tempos. It's a really beautiful Burton Lane song. And nothing arranged, all really kind of spontaneous. I don't think we played it that way each time, but that's what's the most fun about playing jazz, I guess. Then comes Who Cares, Gershwin, with a guest artist who I got to know first as a singer in MIT Vocal Jazz Ensemble, Ricky Richardson. He comes back in the final concert in this series. Wonderful, wonderful singer to work with, fabulous singer hyphen entertainer. There Will Never Be Another You. You will hear another member of that MIT vocal jazz group, Emily Ween. That comes at the end of a summer when I've been spending a number of summers in a row thinking about line. You play a solo and you get a few seconds to make something like a line. When we stopped playing jazz, I thought, well, at least there was a moment there when it seemed like that was fitting. We did an encore year, and you're going to hear a tune which almost doesn't really exist, except for its lyric, which was concocted on the spot, on the stand by my friend Evan Ziporn and myself. If you think it's time to go, it's time to go. And we bring back for that the vocalist Ricky Richardson. So a little summary of what our jazz was about. It was a lot of things. And if you're interested in any of those moments, we put out a CD for every year. And really dug into those composers that I mentioned, or those topics. And what I felt about it really was, it was a wonderful chance to reconvene every year and see where everybody had been, what had happened to them, where their ears had gone. It was every year was a reunion. And I hope that that's a character of quality that you'll all hear when you listen to the Token Creek Jazz Ensemble. Thanks very much for listening, and I will be talking to you next time.